Our top stories tonight: a Bucky's coming close to Clemson, to the T unraveling in college football, all here on Clemson News Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Keanu Smith.
And I'm Ashlyn Myers.
Tensions rose as the rankings got released for college football, or CFB. Late this past weekend, the tragic loss for the University of Georgia against the University of Alabama on Saturday shook the nation. When CFB announced the top 4 competitors for the national championships in order: the University of Michigan, University of Washington, University of Texas, and University of Alabama. Speculations on Michigan's team are underway due to the team's uncertain cheating scandal. Staff member Connor Stallions was allegedly involved in stealing signals from the opposing teams, and Michigan strictly prohibited predictions of opponents' strategies. Meanwhile, following Alabama's victory Saturday, Florida State was left out as number 5 in the CFB rankings, leaving them as the first Power 5 undefeated conference champion to not make the playoffs. The controversy erupted on social media, leaving Alabama fans celebrating and Florida State fans heartbroken. More community talk has occurred as massively popular country chain store called Bucky's will open its second location in the state of South Carolina in early 2025. The company owns 30 acres of land in Anderson, South Carolina, leading many to understand that the next location will be near Clemson University. Roadway improvements and traffic upgrades are needed, and Bucky's and South Carolina Department of Transportation engineers are studying the area in order to bring a new location to Anderson. Recently, the 4th 2024 Republican presidential debate saw Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Chris Christie duke it out on the stage in Alabama. Donald Trump skipped yet another debate, and many polls indicate that Trump is still the frontrunner for the Republican nomination. The GOP candidates took each other on as they looked to slow down and Nikki Haley's rise and gain potential Republican votes in the upcoming Iowa caucuses.
Speaking of political competitors, Daniel, how is Clemson doing in sports against its competitors?
Your Tigers are Jacksonville bound. After a very controversial selection show, it was announced that the Clemson Tigers will be playing Kentucky in this year's Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. The matchup between the Tigers and Wildcats will take place on December 29th at 2 p.m. in Everbank Stadium. The official transfer portal window opened on Monday, and more Clemson players have announced their decision to enter. Since last week's episode, cornerback Toriano Pride Jr., safety Andrew Makuba, edge David Ojegwe, and running back Dominique Thomas have all announced their decision to leave Clemson. However, linebacker Barrett Carter has announced that he will return for another year with the Tigers. Regardless of transfer news, hopes are anything but high for the Tigers. On Monday, Clemson announced the official hiring of 2 new coaches. Matt Luke, who has extensive experience coaching at Ole Miss and most recently Georgia, will take over as the offensive line coach. As for the defensive end coach, Clemson will be welcoming Chris Rumph back to their staff. Rumph had previously coached the defensive line at Clemson from 2006 to 2010. Since then, Rumph has coached at Alabama, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, as well as the NFL for the past 4 years. To add to the exciting coaching news, a third Tiger has declared for the NFL draft. On Monday, defensive tackle Ruka Rororo announced on Instagram that he intends to declare for the upcoming draft. It is likely that more draft announcements will be made in the coming weeks by Clemson defensive stars. After big wins against Alabama and Pittsburgh last week, the Clemson Tigers are ranked number 24 in the AP Top 25 basketball poll. This week, Clemson solidified their spot as the best university in the state after taking down undefeated South Carolina at Littlejohn on Wednesday. The final score was 72-67. The Tigers look to remain undefeated and move up in the rankings with a win against TCU this Saturday. Unfortunately, Clemson women's soccer took a hard loss to Florida State last weekend. The Tigers lost 2-0 in their third matchup against the Seminoles of the season. While they were not able to bring home a championship this year, the Tigers made a great run and hopes are high for next season. To wrap up this week's sports segment on a very positive note, the Clemson men's soccer team is Final Four bound. The Tigers secured a huge win at home last Saturday, defeating Stanford 2-0. The Tigers are headed to Louisville, Kentucky for the Final Four this weekend. They will take on West Virginia at 6 p.m. this Friday with expectations of advancing to the finals and bringing home another national championship. Almost all good news in Clemson sports. Back to you, Ashlyn.
The holy grail of skywatching, Aurora Borealis, otherwise known as the Northern Lights, will have spectacular views across the northern portions of the world. At the moment, the phenomenon glows due to the solar wind caused by a geometric storm from the sun. This uncommon space weather creates intense aurora lights to appear further away from Earth's poles, allowing for more viewers across the world. The lights can even reach U.S. cities as far south as Seattle, Chicago, Boise, or Rochester. During this time of increased solar activity, widespread power outages, system communication failures, and satellite damages are possible. Continuing a tradition more than 75 years old, Greenville will host its Poinsettia Christmas Parade on December 9th at 6 p.m. Located in downtown Greenville, admissions are free and all are welcome to view the holiday floats and participate in the Christmas activities. Many people are happy to finally take part in the event as its initial scheduling had to be delayed by inclement weather. On the topic of weather, Alex, how is the weather looking heading into finals week?
All right, Tigers. Well, Ashlyn, for December, the temperature seems to stay pretty consistent in the mid-50s and low 60s. As of right now, the probability of snowy-like conditions for the holidays are low. However, the likelihood for precipitation in December is 100%. Be sure to bring your rain jackets and umbrellas to the library this weekend. Rain will impact the hills, then get sunny into next week. Don't get too comfortable, though, with the dry weather as it will continue to rain all the following week. Stay dry and work through those finals, Tigers. We are almost done. Back to you, Ashlyn.
Finally, as the semester draws to a close and finals week approaches, we wanted to keep you optimistic with these stats. We only have about 1 week remaining in the fall 2023 semester. We have a little bit less than 3 weeks until Christmas. From our filming day, we have 24 days left until 2024. Our last date in 2023 will be consecutive, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This won't happen for another 1,000 years. Last but not least, 34 days until spring semester starts. Good luck to everyone taking finals. Stay hydrated, go to bed early, eat nourishing meals, and most importantly, be sure to take care of yourselves during this stressful time. Tigers, the finish line is in sight. This concludes our final episode of the fall 2023 semester. Thank you for watching. We appreciate and love all of our viewers, and we'll see you next time in January. I'm Ashlyn Myers.
And I'm Keanu Smith. Clemson News Now.